Hey everybody, this is Perch, and I realize this is an old man ranting at clouds kind of video that I'm about to do, but I just maybe this is a challenge. Hey, grown adults out there, people who are, over the age of, you no longer crap your pants. You just you you've reached a certain age. I can go a little bit higher than that. There's an age actually you reach where you think to yourself, maybe I shouldn't get wasted and stay out until 4 a.m. when I have that important exam in the morning, or I have that job interview, or I've got a presentation at the CEO or whatever, and that's happening at 7:30. And if I stay out till 4 in the morning, all fucked up, it's going to be bad for me. So I'm going to not do that. It'd be more fun. It'd be more fun to do that. Or maybe an even easier one is, hey, you wake up and it's kind of cold outside. It's rainy. It sure would be better to just stay in the house and not go to work and just, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to call in sick. But there were some important things to do today at work. I was going to have to, do that presentation, get that TPP report in, whatever it happens to be. I had to do something. And, if I don't go in, then a bunch of people who are depending on me are going to be, that's going to screw things up and, maybe some other problems. But man, it's cozy. It's cozy in bed. I don't really want to drag myself out. I'd rather just lay here until like 10, 11 o'clock at night and then eat a giant bowl of cereal and maybe drink some beer and watch some cartoons. And you know what? Fuck it. No, I'm not feeling work today. It's a no worky day. But, you drag yourself out of bed anyway and you shower and you put on clothes and you bitch the whole way in and you get some coffee and you just get shit done. I think there's a moment in life, I think, when people grow up and they realize they have to do this. A lot of people, I think, learn this in college. When they go to college, they're like, all right, freedom. I don't got mom and dad telling me what I got to do. I can stay on the screen all night. And then then they fail like a major exam. And it's like, oh shit, things got real. I don't know if I can make a rent. I'm going to have to make a very embarrassing call to my parents to beg for money. You hit that point. And for some people, they're like, phew, got through it. Well, I'll just do another GoFundMe next month. And other people are like, I never want to face this humiliation again. So I'm going to get my shit together and, become a grown up. You have that moment. To me, I feel like with comics and with business, both, I'm encountering more and more people who apparently never grew up because they act as though there's only one thing important. And for a long time, I thought they were being just disingenuous and just, the intentionally dense. You meet these people who are like, it's not gaslighting. I don't know what the term is. You guys can help. What was a term for somebody who just like clearly just pretends to be a retarded because, and they're just faking it, but they're just doing that because it's like, joke's on you. I'm dumb. It's like, for example, when it was many years ago. Some Marvel editors went out and they got milkshakes because of Flo. And if that Flo was a person, not just get your mind out. I got her. Flo had died. She was a member of the Marvel editorial bin, or not the the bullpen. And kind of a figurehead in that. Well, she was a great, actually a pretty great employee. Everybody liked Flo. Flo was wonderful. Had to deal with Jack Kirby's bullshit. So, I mean, I'm just kidding. Kirby was wonderful, but I'm sure not at times the nicest guy. Nothing against him. Everybody gets to be grouchy. I think Jack Kirby being grouchy is probably a lot more daunting than, say, I don't know, Jeremy Whitley being grouchy. I just think those are probably different grouchy levels. But anyway, so they went out and got milkshakes, and then they posted a picture with like a selfie of, Marvel editorial girls getting milkshakes. Yeah. And it was a cringy picture just because most selfies are. I mean, the funny thing is, like, any group of people posing with food or milkshakes or even beer in a selfie generally looks cringy as hell. Doesn't really matter who it is. They all look cringy. Every now and then, like, I don't watch ESPN regularly, but it was on in wherever I was, somewhere I was. And the people on whatever dumbass talk show, I don't understand, by the way, ESPN talk shows like that is just seems like the most stupid thing at all. You're there to watch sports. Instead, we got a bunch of retired people talking about sports rather than watching them. Anyway, But they're like, let's do a selfie. And then they all kind of get together and do a goofy face selfie, and one's doing duck face. And it's like, this is pure unadulterated cringe right here. Anyway, the photo was cringy. And some people had kind of two reactions. One was, hey, dumb bitch, get back to work. And the other was, hey, why don't you take off your top? You kind of had both things going on. And I've done a video about this with the timeline, because it was a series of bad behavior and gaslighting through this whole thing. And then the people, this is Heather Ontos, much the editors, were like, oh my God, we're being attacked by millions of toxic men. I can't even have a milkshake in peace. It was like a classic flopping incident where, there were people who said some things, and then it turned into like World War III against women. When in reality it wasn't that. But what was that part was gaslighting. That part was oh my God, there's a million people doing this for sure. You didn't see it; they were all there. And oh man, my DMs were blowing up with people saying I should die and have sex with them before I did that. And that was a massive exaggeration. It was definitely to here's that attention you ordered for sure. On the other end, the I had done a video at one point. I said, yeah, a few people posted these, like, hey, baby, take off your top, or shut the fuck up, bitch, get to work, kind of responses. And same thing happened with Captain America when they put Sam Wilson as Captain America. There were a couple people like, black people should never be Captain America. They're not smart enough for it. And just clearly racist things. But it was a couple. It wasn't thousands. And it was not every person who was upset at Marvel, or, and it was a few. Because it turns out there's a few dumbasses in everything. But this turned into, whenever I say this, like, yeah, there's a couple people post this, because it's factually true. You can see the posts. There's still, many cases still there. And then you get people, and have you ever experienced this? Like, oh, I've never seen that before. I don't know. I've never seen it. Prove it to me. I've never seen it. And it's like, asshole. Okay, number one, I'm sure you have seen it. Number two, if you haven't seen it, is it really a stretch? You can't imagine that somebody who shares the same politics and way of life of you could be an asshole. Like 1 out of 100, 1 out of 500. If you get to like 1 out of 1,000, there's somebody there, like somebody will agree to anything. If you take 1 out of 1,000 people, you're gonna find one person who's into furries and lotion. Like you can find something in everything. I'm not that one person. But the point is, I think people act intentionally stupid at times in comics, and for a long time I thought these people are just intentionally being dumb. Now I just think, nah, they're dumb. They're actually dumb. They must actually be dumb, because I can't explain a phenomenon where I did a video a couple days ago or whatever, and I said, in comics, you have to focus on two things at the same time. Actually more than that, but at least two. You have to put out a quality product, and you have to put it out, more or less on time. You don't get to do one and not the other. If you put something out on time, but it's garbage, then you put out garbage. It's not worth anything. If you put out, something amazing, but you're constantly a year, 2 years late, also not worth anything. I understand some of you are like, I will wait for quality. Yeah, every once in a while you might, but you're not going to constantly wait for quality. If when Chris Claremont's X-Men was coming out, there was like one issue a year or one issue every 2 years, and Claremont's like, hey, I'm working with the John Byrne guy and Dark Phoenix Saga. You wouldn't want to wait for quality? You wait a year. Like, no one would have read it. I mean, people would have given up. It would have never, like, you can't, like, 8 issues over 8 years. Nobody's going to put up with that shit, and they would not. History shows us they don't. You lose interest. You have to be on time. You have to be speedy and quality. You have to walk and chew gum at the same time. You have to do two things at once. And I think it's like, well, no, you got to pick one. No, you don't have to pick one. I pick both. You have to do both, dumbass. You can't just do one. This idea that, well, no, I don't know. You only get to pick one thing. All right. So imagine, what do you want to do? Do you want to, would you rather have the restaurant have good food or no food? Okay. This is kind of the thing you're picking. It's like, well, it's worth waiting for good food. Waiting a year? You don't want to eat for a year? There's a restaurant that's going to have a great, amazing, Michelin star, perfect dish, but you're going to have to wait a year in order to have it because the other days of the year they're not going to be open because they can't get the food in, or I don't know, they're growing the food, whatever. So one day a year this place is going to open. It's going to have amazing food. Okay, that restaurant doesn't stay in business because, as it turns out, you have to be open and cook good food simultaneously. A restaurant that puts out shit food every day won't stay in business unless it's Arby's. A restaurant that puts out amazing food but isn't open ever will go out of business. You have to do two things at once. In comics, you have to do two things at once. You have to tell a good story. You have to get that shit out on time. And the end. I mean, it's like look, it's not that complicated. No, you can't just sell on I ship books on time. That won't get you anywhere. You also can't sell on my books are amazing, but who knows when you get it? Maybe never. You can't sell on that either. So two things at once. Stop pretending to be stupid. I mean, again, you pretend to be stupid long enough, it's like you're just dumb. At this point, even if you know you're being stupid, for some reason you've decided to pretend being stupid, which is stupid. Yeah, thanks for listening.